God is good, and with each day that passes brings us a day closer to the launch of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. This is the Nathan Napalm channel, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing, especially if you're interested in Pantheon related content, because that's what we do. Today, guys, I want to talk about, officially released to the public, is the new June developer roundtable. The thing about this one is a lot of information, mainly doing with how they release content and, you know, some of the reasons why they release it the way that they do and how they're being careful with the amount of information they release, etc., etc. Quite a bit of information in here. However, the main meaty part of this for me that I got out of it was they are talking about, and we've heard this before, it's not new news, but they are working on a new website. And the thing about this new website, okay, it's still not here yet, and we know that they've been working on it, and they kind of touch on that a little bit, but the interesting thing to me that they talk about during this roundtable is the fact of getting new forums, okay, and we've heard that before too. They're going to update the forums and make them a little bit, you know, better, easier to use, easier to find things and subject matter, etc., etc., because the forums on the official PantheonMMO.com, you know, they're a little outdated, I guess. I don't really care.
All the, you know, child and sub forums are going to be cleaned up a little bit, so it's not so much of a mess and spread out. It'll be a little bit more consolidated, a little bit easier to kind of find things, and we're probably not set in stone yet, but probably going to have like the alpha and beta forums just as like a sub forum permission base attached onto those forums, so you won't have to go to a completely separate website or forums to kind of chat. It'll all be in the one place. So that's the plan. We're hoping that will happen. Yeah, go.
I think we could talk that about that we're working. We are, we'll see if it happens, but we are working toward a new site, right?
Yes, I have said that, but not much more about that, because that's still a lot that we kind of going to release something a bit bigger later. But yeah, yep. A new website is being kind of developed in the... Yeah, I don't want to go into that because there's a lot of surprises with that, so I don't want to hype up too much. I don't want to give anything away, but we are looking to build a new website around, you know, and new forums to go with that website to complement them. But more on the forum side of things that you guys will be using, what you need to know now is that they're in the works. It's going to be IPv based. We had a lot of security and network and that issues with the last ones that we were trying to do. It just didn't work out. We tried for a long time. We had to switch platforms. It just wasn't working for us with what we wanted to do. And look, you know, it's all about, there's a lot of other technical things. Some of you who build websites and forums will know there's a lot more that goes into a back end to connect everything together. And I'm talking about accounts. You can't just attach an account to the game and to the forums and to the website and think it's going to be all good. There's a lot of checkpoints you need to put in place, security measures. It needs to be attached to e-commerce and purchases and subscriptions and stuff like that. When the game goes live, we need to set all of that up and make it work properly before we release it to the public. Otherwise, you see what happens with other game companies, and that if something gets leaked or people's credit card information gets thrown around or hacked, like, that's not something that we take lightly or that we will let happen. So we want to get all that locked down first, and that means new IPv forums starting from scratch. Everyone will probably have to re-sign up again, new passwords, 0 post count. All the information on these forums that we currently have, the official ones, that will be archived, and we will keep that. It'll be locked to you guys. You won't see it or be able to access it, but we will have that so we can go and tap into those threads and information whenever we need it. But they will no longer be active for public use.
But the interesting thing that they're talking about here is that the forums for alpha and beta, okay, because it's really important that we have a way to get in there and communicate, talk about bugs, talk about issues, etc., so they can iron these wrinkles out during alpha and beta so they can get them fixed before launch, right? Super important. Now, if they've got this website that they want to do, but, you know, for whatever reason, they're all busy with different things. We all know that the different developers, you know, there's not a whole lot of them. It's a small team at Visionary Realms, but also they all are wearing many different hats. Something they talk about a lot that, you know, for example, Joppa was hired on for music, if I'm not mistaken, and now, you know, we can see where that's led them, right? And so they all do so many things. So if the issue is not being able to get the website up because everybody's busy with other projects and the people that normally would be doing the website are doing infrastructure for the servers or whatever the case may be, then, that's understandable, and I think the website's okay right now for the way, for where we're at in development. I think it's fine. However, if you wanted to go ahead, and once again, I'm not trying to push a ton of hype here. I'm just saying, and I'm going to play some clips from videos so you can see where I'm getting this from. I'm not just bat crap crazy. That, that if they want to get things ready for alpha, then they're going to have to get this website up and running. And it's a whole new infrastructure for the website, etc., etc. So if they want it to be easy to report bugs, easy to collect data off the server, etc., etc., this would be something they'd had to push and try to get ready in time. Now, do I think that means we're about to go into alpha? Of course not. Of course, they're going to set everything up way in advance before that and even test it out and see how everything's working. However, I do think that they're beginning to plan for alpha by trying to get this website done, and we still don't know when it's supposed to be done, etc., etc. But it does seem like there's a long conversation about this. It's definitely important, and they definitely know it's something that they need to get done. Okay. And you'll also notice that the language of alpha and beta are throughout when they're talking about this website and about the forums and about the being able to report things and all that kind of stuff is all part of the language as they're discussing this. So to me, that's a major hint that that is the pressure that's being put on them. So what that means for us as Pantheon fans or Pantheons is that sounds like they're trying to get ready, guys. They're trying to get ready for alpha and beta. We don't know when that's going to be. I could throw out many speculations, and I have before, but it's not really what I want to do today because I'd hate to get everybody's hopes up. And yet again, it's just a guess at this point, okay? We all have our speculations and our feelings and what we think will happen, but we just don't know. But this is a decent sign to me that they're moving towards it, that we're getting closer, that they're beginning to think like, okay, well, because we know they have an internal date, so it just seems to me like they're trying to push to get it to that internal date. It's like, all right, guys, if alpha is here at X and we're here at Y, then Z would be the midpoint that we need to have everything ready so that we can do everything efficiently, collect our data and everything that we need in the most efficient way possible. Because that's what VR does, is everything's as efficient as they can possibly be for the workload because it's a smaller team and that's how you have to do things. But that's not the only thing we need to think about. You'll notice in his language that he's talking about, we got other things that we're not ready to announce yet, very exciting, etc. Well, as many of you probably know, an email was sent out not long ago about merchandise, okay, for Pantheon. So Pantheon t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads, mice, keyboards, whatever they want to do, we have no idea. But the more Pantheon gear, the better. Posters, man, you got to give us some high quality posters. I need a mouse pad. If you got a keyboard, that would be cool with some beautiful artwork of Pantheon. I'm dying to help you guys out. You know what I mean? So if you guys got merchandise, I will talk about it on this channel all the time. We'll review it. I'll buy it. I'll look at it. That's a ton of content I can do right here on my channel, and I would love it. But if they're going, and that's the other thing that I think they're hinting at, getting ready for merchandise. That's the way I feel. That's what I hear when I listen to this message. You be the judge on that if you agree or not. But they're talking about credit cards and security and all that kind of thing. So what would you need that for? Well, of course the pledges, but they use a third party for that right now. So that wouldn't necessarily be what I would think of. However, if you're doing merchandise, you gotta slim down that profit margin, right? So if you're making money, you're not charging too much for the merchandise, etc. Therefore, you would need to have a baked into the website way to sell your merchandise. I mean, there's other ways around, as we all know. You can go through Teespring, but I just don't think VR is going to do that. They're going to want to keep things in-house. It's where the profit is, and they want this money to help fund the game, to hire more developers, to get the game out quicker, because let's face it, they're in crunch mode. They're freaking out a little bit, guys. The community wants information. We want more, and there's only so much they can do at the point of development that they're at with the amount of developers that they have. So the merchandise is a good way to speed things up, make some cash, make the customers happy. Honestly, I know this probably isn't what they're thinking, but give us content creators something else to talk about for a little while, right? Get us off their back. And this is where I think it's going. That's the big exciting news, I believe, for the new website, is that there's going to be merchandise, official Pantheon merchandise for sale, and that is awesome. That is great news. We kind of knew it was coming after they sent out the survey through the emails and got people to, they collected data on what people would like, what kind of merchandise, if it's a good idea, that kind of thing. So that's what I think we're looking at, guys. Their new website's going to come out ready to roll with the merchandise. Ready to roll some beautiful whatever they sell in the store, t-shirts, etc., hoodies, coffee mugs, whatever it is, you know what I mean? So that's what I think's going on here, guys. Of course, when you hear that, maybe you hear something different. If you think so, if you agree with me, if you think it's something totally different, if you just think it's all actually about just a website and looking better and easier to find information, etc., then let me know. Whatever you think, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for joining me for another video about Pantheon Rise and Fall. And of course, if you're hungry for more information, please check out my channel. You can go to my playlist, and I have a Pantheon folder there for you to just dive in and watch over 100 episodes of Pantheon-type speculation, going over things that are confirmed, going through Brad McQuaid interviews and Joppa interviews and anything you can think of, almost any subject. If I've left a subject out, then that's only because I haven't thought of it yet. I am trying to nail down every tiny, minute detail I can about Pantheon Rise and Fall, and thank you for joining me on my journey. And until next time, guys, God bless and happy gaming. Please listen to what I say. I've been making videos all day. My friends all say I'm it's a video buffet. You can even hit replay. But please just subscribe. I can't even describe being part of my tribe. I'll even offer you a prize, but just please just subscribe and hit the bell notification too.